Hello and welcome back to our channel, where we explore the stories behind the world's most incredible wonders. High above the sprawling city of Rio de Janeiro, where mountains rise from the turquoise waters of Guanabara Bay, and where the sun casts golden light across forests and hills, there stands a promise, a vision of hope and unity. Rio, a city built between the embrace of the sea and the grandeur of the mountains, has long inspired those who gaze upon it. Its valleys and peaks, its rivers and forests, whisper stories of the people who came before, of the indigenous Tupagarni tribes, of Portuguese settlers, and of countless dreamers who imagined a city worthy of the skies. The idea of a statue atop Corcovado mountain was born from this desire, a monument not just of stone, but of faith, of protection, and of the eternal embrace of humanity's spirit. In the early 20th century, Rio's citizens felt a yearning, a need for a symbol that would unify the people, a marker of hope and spirituality in a rapidly changing world. Churches suggested it, city planners debated it, and artists imagined it. The idea took form, a colossal figure, arms outstretched, welcoming all, not merely a statue. Abeakon, a reminder that no matter how vast the city below or how high the mountains above, there could be a guiding presence, a protector watching over the souls of Rio. Religious groups envisioned Christ, a universal figure of peace and love. Artists imagined his gaze, the gentle sweep of his arms, the serene face that would reflect both compassion and strength. In these quiet moments of contemplation, one can almost feel the heartbeat of the city of people dreaming together, of hopes rising like the mists over the Tijuca Forest. As the sun rises over Sugarloaf Mountain, painting the city in shades of orange and rose, one can almost hear the soft footsteps of time, moving slowly, deliberately, towards a vision yet to be realized. The dream lingered for years, a whisper on the wind, until 1921, when the Catholic Circle of Rio launched a campaign to make it a reality. Decadid Semana de Monumento Monument Week. This wasn't a project funded by the state or by a wealthy few. It was built by the people, for the people. Donations poured in, from the wealthiest families to the humblest workers, each coin a testament to a shared belief. This grassroots effort was the true foundation of the statue, built not on rock, but on the collective will of a nation. Now, they needed an artist, a visionary, who could translate this immense feeling into form. The initial design proposed a large cross and a statue of Jesus holding a globe, but the people of Rio affectionately nicknamed it Bola, or the bowl, and the design felt too complex, lacking the simple, powerful gesture of an open embrace. The project needed a new direction. A Brazilian engineer, Heitor da Silva Costa, won the competition with his elegant and powerful concept. Christ, the Redeemer, standing with arms wide open, a symbol of peace and welcome. But Da Silva Costa knew he couldn't do it alone. The scale was unprecedented. To bring this vision to life, he traveled to Europe, seeking the finest artistic and engineering minds of the era. In Paris, he collaborated with the brilliant French sculptor Paul Landowski. Landowski was a master of the Art Deco style, known for its clean lines, bold geometry, and sense of modern grandeur. It was Landowski who would sculpt the head and hands, the most expressive and intimate parts of the statue, infusing them with a serene and compassionate grace. While Landowski shaped the statue's soul in clay, another challenge loomed. How to build such a colossal structure on a narrow, wind-swept mountain peak? The answer came from another French genius, the engineer Albert Cacquot was a pioneer in reinforced concrete, a material that was still relatively new and revolutionary. He designed the intricate internal skeleton of the statue, a lattice of concrete beams that would allow it to withstand the powerful winds and elements atop Corcovado. This internal frame is the hidden strength of Christ the Redeemer, a marvel of modern engineering that remains unseen. The journey of the statue as pieces was as epic as its construction. Landowski sculpted the full-scale head and hands in his Paris studio. These massive clay models were then used to create plaster casts, which were shipped across the Atlantic Ocean to Rio. Imagine those precious, fragile pieces carrying the hopes of a nation, sailing across the vast sea. Once they arrived in Brazil, they were used to create the concrete forms that would become the final statue. But what about the statue's luminous, almost ethereal surface? Da Silva Costa was concerned that raw concrete would be too harsh and dull for a monument of such spiritual significance. He needed a material that would be both durable and beautiful. The inspiration came to him as he walked past a fountain in a Parisian arcade, its surface shimmering with small, elegant tiles. He had found his answer: soapstone, quarried in Brazil. Soapstone is known for its soft, milky white appearance and its resistance to extreme weather. It was the perfect material to sheathe the statue. Volunteers, mostly women from the local community, gathered to help. They would clean the small, triangular soapstone tiles and write messages on the back prayers, names of loved ones, wishes for peace. They then painstakingly glued these thousands of tiles onto strips of linen cloth. These cloth strips were then applied to the massive concrete structure, like a mosaic skin. So, when you look at Christ the Redeemer, you are not just seeing stone. You are seeing a tapestry of countless hopes and prayers, affixed by hand, piece by tiny piece. It is a monument literally covered in the faith of its people. The construction itself was a daunting feat. For 9 years, from 1922 to 1931, workers toiled on the peak of Corcovado, over 2,300 feet above the city. Materials were hauled up the steep mountain on a small cogwheel train, the same one that carries tourists today. Scaffolding clung to the mountainside as workers, suspended high above the ground, carefully assembled the concrete skeleton and applied the soapstone mosaic. In an era without modern safety equipment, their work was perilous, yet, remarkably, despite the dangerous conditions, no lives were lost during the construction, a fact that many attributed to the project's divine protection. Finally, on October 12, 1931, the day came. Rio de Janeiro celebrated the inauguration of Christ, the Redeemer. Crowds gathered below, their eyes fixed on the peak of Corcovado. In a moment of technological wonder for its time, the statue's floodlights were meant to be switched on remotely by Guglielmo Marconi, the inventor of the radio, from his yacht in Naples, Italy. Though poor weather ultimately required the lights to be activated locally, the symbolic gesture connected the monument to the entire world from its very first moment. As the lights illuminated the statue for the first time, a collective gasp of awe echoed through the city. There it stood, 98 feet tall, with an arm span of 92 feet, a silent guardian with an eternal embrace. It was more than a statue. It was the fulfillment of a promise made a decade earlier. It was a symbol of peace, watching over the vibrant, chaotic, and beautiful city of Rio. It stood as a testament to what can be achieved when faith, art, and engineering unite. Over the decades, Christ, the Redeemer, has become one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. It has been struck by lightning, weathered tropical storms, and gazed down upon countless celebrations and moments of sorrow in the city below. It has been named one of the new 7 wonders of the world, a testament to its global significance. But for the people of Rio, the Cariocas, it remains something more intimate. It is a constant, reassuring presence on the horizon, a landmark that orients them not just geographically, but spiritually. When you see it from the beaches of Copacabana or from the winding streets of Santa Teresa, it appears different in every light. Sometimes it is a stark silhouette against a fiery sunset. Other times, it seems to float ethereally among the clouds. It is a source of comfort, a symbol of hope, and a reminder that above the complexities of daily life, there is a gesture of unconditional welcome. The story of Christ the Redeemer is not just a story of its construction. It is a story of a city's dream, a nation's faith, and the enduring power of a symbol to unite and inspire humanity. It is a story written in stone, concrete, and the countless prayers that still adorn its surface, forever watching over the marvelous city. Perched high above its bustling streets and sun-kissed beaches, atop the granite peak of Corcovado Mountain, stands one of the most iconic symbols in the world: Christ, the Redeemer. But this isn't just a statue, it's a story of faith, ambition, and incredible engineering. How did this colossal figure come to be? What challenges did its creators face? And what does it truly represent for the people of Rio and the world? Join me as we uncover the fascinating history behind this modern wonder. It all begins in the early 20th century. Rio was a city in flux, growing rapidly, and its citizens felt a deep yearning for a unifying symbol. They needed a marker of hope and spirituality in a world that was changing faster than ever before. The idea began to bubble up from different corners of society. Churches suggested it, city planners debated it, and artists began to dream. Slowly, a powerful vision took shape. A colossal figure, with arms outstretched, welcoming everyone. This wasn't just about building a statue. It was about creating a beacon, a constant reminder that no matter how vast the city grew below, or how high the mountains loomed above, there would be a guiding presence, a protector watching over the souls of Rio. Religious groups naturally envisioned Christ, a universal figure representing peace and love. Artists and sculptors began to imagine what this figure would look like. They pictured his serene gaze, the gentle, inclusive sweep of his arms, and a face that could reflect both profound compassion and quiet strength. In those early days, as the idea was passed from person to person, you can almost feel the collective heartbeat of the city. It was a time of people dreaming together, of hopes rising like the mists that so often drift over the Tijuca Forest surrounding Corcovado. This was more than an art project. It was a city-esque prayer, taking physical form, a shared aspiration reaching for the heavens. Now, dreaming of a monumental statue is one thing, but actually building it, that was a task for the truly brave. The project demanded a fusion of artistic genius and engineering brilliance, leading to an extraordinary collaboration between Brazil and France. A French sculptor, Paul Landowski, was brought on board. He saw Christ not as a distant, unapproachable deity, but as a warm, welcoming presence. His vision was clear: open arms and a calm, reassuring expression. He drew his inspiration from the natural curves of the human body, the concept of the divine, and the breathtaking landscapes of Rio that would form the statue's backdrop. But how do you build such a massive figure on top of a 710-meter-high mountain peak? This was the monumental challenge faced by the Brazilian engineer, Heitor da Silva Costa. We're talking about a figure that would eventually stand 30 meters tall, with an arm span of 28 meters. The location itself, Corcovado, is known for its strong, unpredictable winds. Da Silva Costa had to devise a structure that could withstand the elements for centuries. After much consideration, the team made a groundbreaking choice for the time: reinforced concrete for the core structure, providing immense strength and durability. For the outer layer, they needed something special, a material that was both enduring and would appear soft and elegant under the bright Brazilian sun. They found their answer in soapstone. This local stone is not only resistant to extreme weather, but also has a unique quality that gives the statue its gentle, luminous glow. Thousands upon thousands of small, triangular soapstone tiles were hand-cut and prepared to be applied to the concrete shell, like a mosaic skin. This meticulous detail is what gives Christ the Redeemer its distinctive and beautiful texture. It's a perfect marriage of industrial strength and delicate artistry. The design process was painstaking. Countless sketches were drawn, small-scale models were built and tested, and complex structural calculations were checked and rechecked. Every single detail mattered immensely. The slight tilt of the head had to convey humility and grace. The precise angle of the arms needed to create a perfect gesture of embrace. And most importantly, the entire structure had to be perfectly balanced to resist the powerful winds that sweep across the mountain. It was an intricate dance between art and science, with each step carefully choreographed. Landowski sculpted the head and hands in his studio in France, creating plaster models, which were then shipped to Brazil. Finally, the construction began. Just imagine the logistics: all the materiasta, steel, the cement, the sand, and water for the concrete. Not to mention the thousands of soapstone tiles had to be transported to the top of Corcovado Mountain. The Corcovado Rack Railway, which was originally built in 1884 to take tourists to the summit, became the lifeline for the project. For years, this small train was the only way to get workers and materials up the steep, jungle-covered slope. It was a slow, arduous process. At these summit, workers assembled massive wooden scaffolds that clung to the mountainside, allowing them to build the statue piece by piece, from the base upwards. Working at that height was incredibly dangerous. The men who built Christ the Redeemer were true heroes, facing vertigo, unpredictable weather, and the sheer physical challenge of their task every single day. Yet, miraculously, Despite the perilous conditions over the 9 years of construction, not a single life was lost. Many of the workers were deeply religious, and they saw their work not just as a job, but as an act of devotion. They would write the names of their family members on the back of the soapstone tiles before fixing them in place, forever embedding their personal prayers into the very fabric of the statue. On October 12, 1931, the day finally came. Christ the Redeemer was officially inaugurated. It was a moment of immense national pride and celebration for Brazil. From that day forward, the statue was stood as a silent guardian over Rio. Its open arms seemed to embrace the entire city, from the luxury apartments of Copacabana to the favelas climbing the hillsides. It has become an inseparable part of Rio's identity, a symbol recognized and loved across the globe. It's a testament to human ingenuity, a beacon of peace, and a powerful reminder of a city's dream that reached the sky. So, the next time you see a picture of Christ the Redeemer, I hope you'll remember the incredible story behind it. It's not just a landmark, it's a symbol of unity, a feat of engineering, and a work of art born from a collective hope. It truly is a wonder. This is the story of Christ the Redeemer, a statue that isn't just a landmark, but the very soul of Rio de Janeiro. But have you ever wondered how this colossal icon, one of the new 7 wonders of the world, came to be? How did humanity manage to build a masterpiece on a peak 700 meters above the sea? A century ago. The story is a testament to faith, engineering, and the sheer power of human will. Get ready, because we're about to journey back in time to the 1920s to uncover the incredible saga of its creation. It all started with an idea, a powerful vision. In the aftermath of World War I, Brazil was navigating a period of rapid change. Amidst this, the Catholic Circle of Rio proposed a monumental symbol of faith. To reclaim the city's skyline, they envisioned a statue of Christ, visible from every corner of Rio, a constant reminder of peace and devotion. The chosen location, the dramatic peak of Mount Corcovado, a granite giant that already offered the most breathtaking views of the city. But the idea, as grand as it was, faced a monumental challenge. How do you even begin to build something so enormous, so high up, with the technology of the 1920s? The first step was a design competition. The winning idea came from a Brazilian engineer named Heitor da Silva Costa. His initial concept was different from what we see today. It featured Christ holding a large cross in one hand and a globe in the other. But this design was nicknamed Christ with a ball, and it didn't quite capture the spirit they were aiming for. Da Silva Costa traveled to Europe, seeking inspiration and collaborating with the brilliant French sculptor, Paul Landowski. It was Landowski who refined the design into the iconic Art Deco style we now recognize. He sculpted the head and hands in his studio in France, creating full-scale clay models that would serve as the blueprint. But the most significant change was the posture. Together, they decided on the open-armed stance, a powerful symbol of peace and welcome. Christ wasn't just holding a cross. The asterisk was asterisk, the cross. His body forming the shape, embracing the entire city. With the design finalized, the next hurdle was funding. This wasn't a government project. It was a people's project. An event called Semana do Monumento, or Monument Week, was launched to raise funds. It was an incredible grassroots movement. People from all walks of life, from the wealthiest citizens to the most humble workers in the favelas, donated what they could. The campaign was a massive success, raising an amount equivalent to over $3 million today. It proved that this wasn't just a project for the church. It was a dream shared by the entire nation. The people of Brazil were literally building their own monument. And so, in 1922, the real work began. The construction itself was an epic feat of engineering and human endurance. Think about it. No modern helicopters, no heavy-duty trucks to simply drive up the mountain. A small, cogwheel railway, originally built in the 1880s for tourists to reach the summit, became the lifeline of the project. This little train was the only way to transport tons of cement, steel, and tools up the steep, winding incline. Workers would load it piece by piece, sending it on its slow journey up Corcovado. It was a painstaking, meticulous process. Every bag of cement, every steel rod, represented an immense physical effort. At the summit, a team of dedicated workers faced the elements day in and day out. They toiled under the scorching Brazilian sun, endured sudden tropical downpours, and worked amidst the thick fog that often blankets the mountain. They were building in the clouds, suspended between the earth and the sky. The foundation was laid deep into the rock, and a skeleton of reinforced concrete began to rise. Da Silva Costa made a brilliant choice for the exterior. Instead of bare concrete, which he felt was too rough and raw, he chose soapstone. Why soapstone? Not only does it have a beautiful, soft luminescence, but it's also incredibly durable and resistant to extreme weather. The outer layer of the statue is not made of large blocks of soapstone, but a mosaic of thousands of small, triangular tiles. These tiles, each about 3 centimeters long, were hand-cut by workers. But here is a detail that truly captures the heart of this project. Before the tiles were sent up the mountain, volunteers, mostly women from the community, would gather to write messages on the back. They wrote prayers, names of loved ones, and wishes for the future. Imagine that. The entire surface of Christ the Redeemer is lined with the hidden hopes and dreams of the people who helped build it. It's a secret layer of devotion, forever sealed into the heart of the stone. The construction took 9 long years. 9 years of hauling materials, mixing concrete, setting steel, and carefully placing each individual tile. The artisans worked on scaffolding that clung precariously to the statue's surface, shaping the gentle folds of Christ's robe and the serene expression on his face. The most challenging part was constructing the arms. Stretching 28 meters from fingertip to fingertip, these massive cantilevers were an engineering marvel of their time. As they extended out from the body, the city below watched in awe and anticipation. Day by day, the figure became more defined, emerging from the web of steel and scaffolding like a Titan awakening. Finally, on October 12, 1931, the day arrived. The city of Rio held its breath. The statue was complete, and an inauguration ceremony was planned. Dignitaries, workers, and thousands of citizens gathered. The plan was for the famous inventor Guglielmo Marconi to trigger the lighting of the statue remotely from his yacht in Naples, Italy, using a shortwave radio signal, a truly futuristic idea for the 1930s. However, due to bad weather, the signal didn't make it, but a backup plan was in place, and the lights were switched on locally. As darkness fell over Rio, Christ the Redeemer was illuminated for the first time. A collective gasp swept through the city, followed by an eruption of joy and wonder. There he stood, colossal and serene, arms wide open, a guardian bathed in light. It was a moment of pure magic, the culmination of a decade of dreams. In the 90 years since its completion, Christ the Redeemer has become more than just a statue. It's an inseparable part of Rio's identity. It has watched over the city through carnivals and crises, through triumphs and tribulations. It has survived countless storms and has even been struck by lightning multiple times. A testament to its incredible design and the lightning rods cleverly concealed within its crown and arms. Each time it's damaged, it is meticulously repaired, a symbol of the city's own resilience. It has welcomed popes, presidents, athletes, and millions of tourists who make the pilgrimage to its feet, seeking inspiration or simply the best view in the world. For the people of Rio, the Cariocas, the statue is a constant presence. They see it from their homes, their workplaces, and the famous beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema. It's a point of reference, both geographically and spiritually. The open arms are often seen as a reflection of the warm, welcoming nature of the Brazilian people. It's a symbol of unity, looking over a city of stark contrasts, from the luxurious beachfronts to the sprawling favelas. At night, when it glows against the dark sky, it offers a sense of comfort and protection, a silent promise that no matter what happens, you are not alone. The story of Christ the Redeemer is not just about stone and concrete. It's a story about a community coming together to create something beautiful and lasting. It's a story of innovation, overcoming incredible odds with the ingenuity of the human mind. And most of all, it's a story of faith in a higher power, faith in each other, and faith in the ability to turn an impossible dream into an enduring reality. The next time you see a picture of this magnificent statue, remember the journey. Remember the little train chugging up the mountain, the workers in the clouds, and the hidden messages of hope tiled across its surface. It's a masterpiece built by many hands, with one heart. Imagine standing at the foot of a mountain, looking up, and seeing a dream take shape against the sky. That's the story of Christ the Redeemer, a monument born from faith, ambition, and incredible ingenuity. Let's travel back in time to the early 20th century to understand how this icon came to be. The idea of placing a massive Christian monument on top of Corcovado mountain had been floating around since the 1850s, but it wasn't until the 1920s that it truly gained momentum. A group of Brazilians, fueled by a desire to create a powerful symbol of their faith, launched a campaign to make it happen. The task of designing such a colossal statue was nothing short of monumental. It required a unique blend of artistry and engineering, a collaboration that would span continents. Enter Paul Landowski, a brilliant French sculptor. His vision was clear. This wouldn't be a distant, judgmental figure. Instead, he imagined a Christ who was approachable, with arms wide open and a gesture of peace and welcome. He wanted the statue to feel human, yet divine, with a calm, reassuring expression that would speak to everyone who saw it. Landowski drew inspiration from the natural curves of the human form and the breathtaking, sweeping landscapes of Rio de Janeiro that would serve as the statue's backdrop. But a beautiful vision is one thing. Making it stand is another. This is where Heitor da Silva Costa, a Brazilian engineer, stepped in. The challenge he faced was immense. How do you build a statue that has 30 meters? Tall, that is almost the height of a 10-story building with an arm span of 28 meters. And how do you place it on a mountain peak over 700 meters above the sea, where it would be exposed to fierce winds and unpredictable weather? The team knew they needed a material that was incredibly strong but could also be molded into a work of art. They chose reinforced concrete, a relatively new technology at the time, for the internal structure. This would give the statue the skeleton it needed to withstand the elements. For the exterior, they needed something that was both durable and beautiful. They settled on a mosaic of thousands of small, triangular soapstone tiles. Soapstone was a perfect choice. It's resistant to extreme weather and has a soft, gentle sheen that beautifully catches the sunlight, giving the statue an almost ethereal glow. With the design and materials decided, the meticulous planning began. Sketches were drawn and redrawn. Small-scale models were built and tested in wind tunnels. Every single calculation was checked and double-checked. The slightest miscalculation could be catastrophic. They had to get everything perfect. The exact tilt of the head, the precise angle of the arms to ensure balance, and the overall stability of the structure against the powerful gusts of wind that whip around Corcovado. This wasn't just construction. It was a symphony of art and science. In 1922, the first stone was laid, and the ambitious construction phase began. This was a slow, painstaking process that required immense skill and bravery. There were no modern highways leading up the mountain. Workers had to transport tons of concrete, steel, and soapstone up narrow, winding paths. Using a small cogwheel train, it was grueling, often dangerous work. From the city below, the people of Rio watched in fascination. Day by day, they saw their dream slowly, almost magically, ascend towards the heavens. The project faced countless obstacles. Torrential rains would turn the construction site into a slippery, muddy mess. Heavy winds would howl around the scaffolding, making the work even more precarious. Often, a thick blanket of mist would roll in, completely obscuring the mountain, yet the work never stopped. Imagine the scene. High above the city, workers are carefully hoisting massive blocks of concrete into place, crane by crane, piece by piece. The figure of Christ begins to emerge from the steel and wooden framework. Artisans, perched high on the scaffolding, meticulously at play the thousands of soapstone tiles, carefully shaping the delicate folds of Christ's robe and the serene features of his face. Stone by stone, the arms stretch further and further, reaching out over the city in a gesture of protection. It took 9 long years, 9 years of unwavering dedication, patience, and sheer perseverance. It was a testament to the human spirit and the power of a shared vision. Finally, on October 12, 1931, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. The statue was complete and ready to be unveiled. The city of Rio held its breath. A massive crowd gathered, their eyes fixed on the peak of Corcovado. And then, as the covering was removed. A collective gasp of awe rippled through the city. There it stood, Christ the Redeemer, colossal yet serene, its arms open wide, seeming to welcome not just Rio, but the entire world into an eternal, loving embrace. The dream had become a reality. But Christ, the Redeemer, is so much more than just a magnificent structure of stone and concrete. It has become a profound symbol of faith, unity, and the incredible resilience of the Brazilian people. For nearly a century, it has watched over Rio, witnessing the city's growth, its celebrations, and its challenges. It has become one of the most recognizable landmarks on the planet, welcoming millions of visitors, pilgrims, and dreamers from every corner of the globe. Each person who makes the journey up Corcovado mountain feels that unique sense of peace and wonder as they stand in its presence. The statue has endured everything nature can throw at it. It has withstood countless storms and has even been struck by lightning multiple times, a testament to the brilliant engineering that went into its construction. Yet, through it all, it remains steadfast, a calm and eternal guardian. For the people of Rio, the Cariocas, the statue is a part of their identity. Its outstretched arms are often seen as a reflection of their own warm, welcoming, and open-hearted spirit. The statue's serene presence, looking out over the city, embodies a constant source of hope and inspiration for a brighter future. And when night falls, the statue undergoes another transformation, illuminated by a soft, gentle light. It seems to float above the sleeping city. It becomes a silent watcher, a comforting presence, keeping guard over the rooftops, the famous beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema, and all the people below. It's a beacon of peace in the night sky. So, the next time you see a picture of Christ the Redeemer, remember the incredible story behind it. It's a story of a dream that brought together artists and engineers, a story of workers who defied gravity and the elements, and a story of a city that dared to build a symbol of hope that would reach for the sky. It is a masterpiece of human achievement and a timeless monument to faith and love. Have you ever wondered about the story behind one of the world's most iconic landmarks? High above the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro, with arms outstretched in an eternal embrace, stands Christ, the Redeemer. But this is so much more than a colossal statue of stone and concrete. It's a powerful symbol of faith, a beacon of unity, and a testament to the resilient spirit of a nation. For nearly a century, it has watched over Rio, a silent witness to the city's incredible growth, its constant change, and its many challenges. It has welcomed millions from devout pilgrims to curious travelers and wide-eyed dreamers, all drawn to its serene presence. It has faced down ferocious storms, withstood dramatic lightning strikes, and resisted the relentless march of time. Through it all, it remains calm, steadfast, and seemingly eternal. For the people of Rio, the statue is a mirror of their own identity. Its outstretched arms reflect the warmth and open-hearted spirit of the city itself, while its tranquil gaze embodies a collective hope for a brighter future. As night falls and the city lights begin to twinkle, the statue is bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. It becomes a guardian, watching silently over the rooftops, the famous beaches, and every soul below. Over the years, a rich tapestry of stories and legends has been woven around the Redeemer. People whisper of lightning strikes that seem to dance across its arms, leaving it miraculously unharmed. They share tales of prayers answered beneath its watchful gaze, and of lovers and travelers finding a profound sense of peace in its shadow. This monument is a survivor. It has endured powerful winds, the fierce tropical sun, and torrential rains. Every crack that has been repaired, every stone meticulously maintained, serves as a living memory of unwavering devotion. It's no surprise that this awe-inspiring figure has sparked the creativity of countless artists, writers, and dreamers. Each person interprets its gentle expression and open arms in their own unique way, adding new layers of wonder and meaning to its enduring legacy. The journey to its creation was an epic feat in itself. Construction began in 1922, a slow and painstaking process. Imagine workers carrying heavy materials up steep, narrow mountain paths, carefully hoisting concrete, steel, and soapstone into the sky. The entire city of Rio watched from below, holding its breath as this monumental dream slowly took shape against the clouds. They battled the elements, rain, wind, and thick mist, that shrouded the mountainside. Yet, the work never stopped. Every day brought them a step closer to the heavens. Crane by crane, block by block, the majestic figure began to emerge. Skilled artisans meticulously carved the delicate folds of Christ's robe, while stone by stone, the arms stretched further, reaching out as if to embrace the world. It took 9 long years, 9 years of incredible patience, unwavering perseverance, and profound devotion. Finally, in 1931, the moment arrived. The statue was unveiled. A collective gasp of awe rolled through the city as Christ the Redeemer stood complete, colossal, serene, and with arms wide open, welcoming Rio, and indeed the world, into its timeless embrace. To stand at its base today is to experience a powerful mix of humility and wonder. As you gaze down, you see Rio de Janeiro in all its glory, a breathtaking panorama where mountains, beaches, forests, and bustling city life flow together in perfect harmony. The waves of Guanabara Bay sparkle like scattered jewels, and the winding streets look like rivers of life, leading to vibrant neighborhoods filled with color, music, and energy. Up here, you feel connected to something far greater than yourself. It's as if the mountains, the city, and the statue are all breathing together in a slow, rhythmic, and timeless dance. Day after day, Christ the Redeemer stands quietly, its open arms a constant reminder of compassion, faith, and enduring hope. It invites us all to slow down, to breathe, to reflect, and to remember that even in the midst of our busy, chaotic lives, there is always a place for serenity, for peace, and for a touch of the divine. As the sun sets, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and gold, the statue remains an eternal, welcoming story written in stone, forever embracing the heart of Rio. Have you ever gazed upon a monument so grand it seems to touch the very heavens? Today, we journey to the heart of Rio de Janeiro, to the summit of Corcovado mountain, to uncover the story of one of the world's most iconic wonders, Christ the Redeemer. Our story begins in the early 1920s. A monumental task lay ahead, one that would require the minds of both engineers and artists from Brazil and France. The vision was shared: create a statue of Christ, not as a distant, judgmental figure, but as warm, welcoming presence. The French sculptor Paul Landowski envisioned a serene, reassuring expression, with arms open wide. He drew inspiration from the natural curves of the human body and the stunning landscapes of Rio that would serve as its backdrop. But how do you build such a colossal figure, 30 meters tall with a 28-meter arm span, atop a 710-meter-high mountain peak? This was the challenge for structural engineer Heitor da Silva Costa. He had to account for the powerful winds and unpredictable weather of Corcovado. After careful consideration, they chose a revolutionary combination: reinforced concrete for its immense strength, and a mosaic of delicate soapstone for the outer layer. This stone, locally quarried, was not only durable, but also had a unique quality of appearing soft and luminous under the Brazilian sun. Countless sketches were drawn, models were tested, and calculations were checked and rechecked. Every single detail was crucial, from the gentle tilt of the head to the precise angle of the outstretched arms. In 1922, the construction began. It was a slow, painstaking process. Imagine the scene. Workers carrying heavy materials up narrow, winding mountain paths. Concrete, steel, and thousands of soapstone tiles were hoisted up the steep inclines. Below, the entire city of Rio watched, holding its breath as this incredible dream slowly, piece by piece, took shape against the sky. The work was relentless. Through pouring rain, gusting winds, and the thick mist that often shrouded the mountainside, the construction continued day after day. Each block laid, each steel beam secured, was another step closer to the heavens. Crane by crane, block by block, the majestic figure began to emerge from the mountaintop. Skilled artisans meticulously shaped the delicate folds of Christ's robe, creating a sense of flowing fabric from solid stone. Stone by stone, the arms stretched further, reaching out over the city below in a gesture of welcome. It took 9 long years, 9 years of incredible patience, unwavering perseverance, and a deep, shared devotion. Finally, in 1931, the moment arrived. The statue was unveiled. A hush fell over the city, and then a collective gasp of pure awe. Christ the Redeemer stood, colossal and serene, its arms wide open, as if to draw the city on. Indeed, the entire world into a timeless, eternal embrace. But Christ the Redeemer is so much more than just stone and concrete. It is the very soul of Rio, a powerful symbol of faith, unity, and resilience. For decades, it has watched over the city through periods of immense growth, constant change, and significant challenges. It has welcomed millions of visitors from every corner of the globe, pilgrims, tourists, and dreamers alike, all drawn to its peaceful presence. It has stood steadfast against powerful storms and even direct lightning strikes, seemingly untouched by the relentless passage of time. It remains a calm, constant, eternal guardian. The people of Rio, the Cariocas, see their own spirit reflected in the statue. Its open arms echo the warmth and hospitality for which they are famous, and its serene expression reflects a collective hope for a brighter future. At night, illuminated by a soft, gentle light, it watches silently over the rooftops, the famous beaches, and the sleeping city below. Over the years, a tapestry of stories and legends has been woven around the Redeemer. People speak of lightning strikes that have danced across its arms, leaving it miraculously unharmed. They tell of miracles attributed to quiet prayers whispered at its feet. It's a place where lovers and travelers find a sense of profound peace in its shadow. The statue has endured fierce tropical storms and the scorching sun, and each crack that is repaired, each stone that is maintained, adds to its living history of devotion. It has inspired countless artists, writers, and musicians, each interpreting its gentle gaze and open arms in their own unique way, adding new layers of wonder to its enduring legend. To stand at the base of Christ the Redeemer is a truly humbling experience. As you gaze up at its immense scale, you can't help but feel a sense of awe. And when you look down, you witness the breathtaking panorama of Rio de Janeiro, a city that is vibrantly alive. Mountains, beaches, forests, and bustling city life all flow together in a stunning, harmonious tapestry. From this vantage point, the waves of Guanabara Bay sparkle like scattered jewels in the sun. The streets wind like rivers through colorful neighborhoods and lively markets, pulsating with music and life. Standing there, you feel connected to something far greater than yourself, as if the mountains, the city, and the statue are all breathing together in a slow, peaceful rhythm. And so, Christ the Redeemer stands quietly, watching over Rio. Its arms, forever open to the sky and to humanity, are a constant reminder of compassion, faith, and hope. Through storms and sunlight, it continues to inspire. Its gentle gaze invites us all to slow down, to reflect, and to remember that even in the midst of our busy lives, there is always a place for calm, for serenity, and for peace. As the sun sets behind the mountains, painting the sky in glorious shades of orange, pink, and gold, the statue remains eternal, welcoming, and full of grace. A story written in stone, forever embracing the heart of Rio. Have you ever looked at a monument so grand, so breathtaking, that it seems to defy gravity to touch the very heavens? Today, we're journeying to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to uncover the story behind one of the most iconic statues in the world. Christ, the Redeemer. How did this colossal figure, standing atop the 710-meter-high Corcovado mountain, come to be? It's a story of artistry, engineering, genius, and unwavering faith. So, grab your virtual passport, because we're about to climb the mountain and dive into the history of this modern wonder. The idea for a massive religious monument overlooking Rio had been floating around since the 1850s. But it wasn't until after World War I that the project gained real momentum. The Catholic Circle of Rio, a local group, feared a rising tide of godlessness in the country and proposed the statue as a powerful symbol to reclaim Rio for Christianity. They organized a massive fundraising campaign called Semana do Monumento, or Monument Week. Donations poured in from all across Brazil, It wasn't just the wealthy who contributed. People from all walks of life gave what they could, making this a true project of the people. This was more than just construction. It was a national movement, a collective dream to place an undeniable symbol of faith and peace over their beloved city. With the funds secured, the next big question was, what should it look like? The initial designs were quite different from what we see today. One proposal featured Christ holding a large cross and a globe, but the public, in a bit of a humorous twist, nicknamed it Christ with a balloon. They wanted something more personal, more welcoming. This is where the brilliant engineer Haita da Silva Costa came in. He envisioned Christ with open arms, a powerful gesture that could symbolize both a cross and a warm, all-encompassing embrace. It was a perfect blend of divinity and humanity, a design that resonated deeply with everyone. His vision won the design competition, and the stage was set for one of the most ambitious construction projects of the 20th century. Now, designing such a monumental statue was no small task. It required a unique collaboration between art and science, between two continents. Heitor da Silva Costa, the lead engineer, knew he couldn't do it alone. He traveled to Europe to find the right artistic partner. In France, he met Paul Landowski, a sculptor renowned for his masterful work. Landowski was tasked with shaping the statue's features, particularly the head and hands. He didn't envision a distant, stern deity. Instead, he sculpted a Christ with a calm, serene, and profoundly reassuring expression. He wanted the statue to feel like a welcoming presence, not just a figure to be admired from afar. Landowski created full-scale clay models of the hands and head in his Paris studio, which were then shipped all the way to Brazil. While Landowski focused on the artistry, da Silva Costa tackled the immense engineering puzzle. How do you build a 30-meter tall statue with an arm span of 28 meters on a narrow mountain peak, constantly battered by strong winds and tropical weather? The initial choice was steel, but da Silva Costa had a better idea. He chose reinforced concrete, a material that was still relatively new and revolutionary at the time, for its strength and durability. For the outer layer, he needed something that could withstand the elements and still look beautiful. After testing various materials, he discovered the perfect solution: soapstone. Quarried from a nearby region in Brazil, soapstone is soft enough to be carved, remarkably resistant to erosion, and has a unique quality of retaining a soft, gentle glow under the sunlight. This combination of a strong concrete core and a delicate soapstone skin was ingenious. The team created a mosaic of thousands of small, triangular soapstone tiles. These tiles were meticulously applied to the statue's surface, creating a finish that is both incredibly durable and visually soft. Legend has it that many of the women who helped prepare these tiles wrote names of their family members or small prayers on the back before they were attached, embedding personal hopes and blessings into the very fabric of the monument. Every detail, from the slight tilt of the head to the graceful folds of the robe, was carefully calculated to ensure both aesthetic beauty and structural integrity against the powerful mountain winds. In 1922, after years of planning, fundraising, and design, construction finally began, and it was a logistical nightmare. Remember, this is a 710-meter-high mountain with a very narrow peak. All the materials, tongs of cement, sand, steel, and countless soapstone tiles had to be hauled up the mountain. A small cogwheel railway, which was originally built in the 1880s to take tourists to the summit, became the lifeline for the project. It painstakingly carried the heavy materials piece by piece up the steep incline. Workers then had to move everything from the train station to the construction site itself. It was slow, arduous, and often dangerous work. They built a complex system of scaffolding that clung to the mountainside, allowing them to work at dizzying heights. Imagine being one of those workers, suspended high above Rio, with the entire city sprawling beneath you. Day after day, they faced unpredictable weather, sudden downpours, thick fog that would swallow the mountain whole, and winds that could chill you to the bone. Yet, they persevered. This wasn't just a job. For many, it was an act of devotion. They were building a symbol for their city, for their country, for their faith. Slowly but surely, the statue began to take shape. First the pedestal, then the towering body, and finally, the most dramatic part, The outstretched arms, block by block, the figure rose from the mountain, a concrete skeleton slowly being clad in its beautiful soapstone skin. The city of Rio watched from below, transfixed, as their dream reached for the sky. It took 9 long years of tireless effort, of patience, and of incredible skill. 9 years of battling the elements and overcoming engineering challenges that had never been faced before. Finally, in 1931, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. On October 12th, the day of Our Lady of Aparecida, the patron saint of Brazil. The statue was officially inaugurated. The city held its breath as the monument was unveiled and the powerful floodlights were switched on for the first time, a feat accomplished remotely by radio signal from Italy by the inventor Guglielmo Marconi himself. A collective gasp of awe swept through Rio. There it stood, Christ the Redeemer, colossal and serene, arms open wide as if to gather the entire city, and indeed the world, into an eternal, loving embrace. It was a triumph of human ingenuity and a testament to the power of a shared dream. Today, Christ the Redeemer is more than just a tourist attraction. It's the heart and soul of Rio. It stands as a universal symbol of peace, unity, and resilience. Over the decades, it has witnessed the city's joys and sorrows, its growth and its struggles. It has survived lightning strikes which have damaged it on several occasions, requiring careful restoration and the relentless passage of time. Yet it remains steadfast, a calm guardian watching over the city. For the people of Rio, the Cariocas, the statue is a constant, reassuring presence. They see its open arms as a reflection of their own warm and welcoming spirit. It's a source of pride, a point of reference in their daily lives, visible from almost every corner of the city. At night, when illuminated against the dark sky, the statue transforms into a beacon of light, a silent sentinel watching over the sleeping city from the bustling neighborhoods and favelas to the iconic beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema. It has welcomed millions, from popes and presidents to pilgrims and travelers from every nation, all coming to stand in its shadow and feel its profound sense of peace. In 2007, it was deservedly named one of the new 7 wonders of the world, cementing its place not just in the heart of Brazil, but in the heart of humanity. It proves that when we combine artistry, engineering, and a powerful, unifying vision, we can create something truly timeless, something that reaches for the heavens and touches the soul. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey to the top of Corcovado Mountain. The story of Christ the Redeemer is a powerful reminder of what we can achieve together. Scene opens with a breathtaking drone shot of Christ the Redeemer at sunrise, clouds swirling around its base. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to stand at the edge of the world, embraced by a silent giant of stone? High above the vibrant, pulsating heart of Rio de Janeiro, a figure stands with arms outstretched, not just watching over a city, but embracing an entire nation. This is Cristo Redentor, Christ the Redeemer, a symbol so powerful it has become the very soul of Brazil. But this isn't just a story about a statue. It's a story about faith, resilience, and the incredible human spirit that dared to place a guardian in the clouds. Let's journey back to the 1920s. Rio was a city buzzing with change, and the Catholic community envisioned a monumental symbol of their faith, one that could be seen from every corner of the city. The idea was born: a colossal statue of Christ, perched atop the 710-meter-high peak of Corcovado Mountain. Imagine the challenge. This was nearly a century ago. There were no modern cranes, no helicopters to lift massive blocks of stone. The chosen design, by French sculptor Paul Landowski, was elegant and powerful, an Art Deco masterpiece. But how do you build such a titan on a treacherous, steep mountain? The answer was as ingenious as the statue itself. The entire structure was built in France, piece by piece, and then shipped across the Atlantic to Brazil. From T. Each section of the head and hands was painstakingly transported up the mountain on a small cogwheel train, the very same one that carries millions of visitors today. Think about that for a moment. Every single piece of this 30-meter-tall marvel made that slow, winding journey up the jungle-clad slopes of Corcovado. On site, a team of Brazilian engineers and workers, led by Heider da Silva Costa, faced the daunting task of assembling the giant puzzle. They pioneered the use of reinforced concrete, a material still considered revolutionary at the time. To give the statue its brilliant, mosaic-like finish, they covered the entire surface with thousands of small, triangular, soapstone tiles. Legend has it that the women who helped cut and apply these tiles often wrote messages, prayers, or the names of their loved ones on the back, embedding their own personal stories into the skin of the Redeemer. So when you look at the statue, you're not just seeing stone, you're seeing a tapestry of countless silent prayers and hidden hopes. Finally, after 9 years of relentless effort, on October 12, 1931, Christ the Redeemer was inaugurated. It was an event that captured the imagination of the world. The plan was to illuminate the statue for the first time remotely, with a signal sent by radio pioneer Guglielmo Marconi, all the way from his yacht in Naples, Italy, though poor weather ultimately required the lights to be switched on locally. The symbolism was clear. This was a beacon for humanity, connecting continents and cultures. From that day forward, the statue ceased to be just an engineering feat. It became a living part of Rio. It's a constant presence in the lives of the people of Rio. They wake up and see it through their windows, a reassuring figure against the morning sky. They see it watching over them as they navigate the bustling streets, a calm center in a city that never stops moving. Over the decades, stories and legends have woven themselves around the Redeemer. Like vines climbing Corcovado, they speak of the statue's incredible resilience. It has been struck by lightning countless times, with powerful bolts dancing across its open arms. Yet, it remains largely unharmed, a testament to the grounding power of its soapstone exterior and the engineering within. Each time a finger or a part of the head is damaged, it is meticulously repaired. Each restored stone a new chapter in its story of endurance. It's a silent witness to history. It has watched over Rio through decades of celebration, carnival, parades, World Cups, and Olympics. It has also stood stoically through times of turmoil and change, its serene gaze a constant source of hope. For millions, it is a pilgrimage site. People come from all over the globe, climbing the mountain to stand in its shadow. Here, beneath its gaze, they find a profound sense of peace. Lovers have shared kisses, travelers have found a moment of clarity, and the faithful have whispered prayers that mingle with the mountain winds. The statue has inspired countless artists, poets, and musicians. Its form is instantly recognizable, its meaning reinterpreted in thousands of different ways. It represents faith, yes, but also acceptance, unity, and a universal welcome. Those outstretched arms don't just symbolize the cross, they symbolize an embrace, open to people of all backgrounds and beliefs. In this, the people of Rio see a reflection of their own spiritual one, the hospitality and the open-heartedness that defines their culture. As the sun sets, casting a golden glow over Guanabara Bay, a different kind of magic happens. The statue is illuminated, transforming into a gentle, luminous guardian against the night sky. It watches over the sleeping city, a beacon of tranquility over the favelas and the skyscrapers, the beaches and the forests. It's a promise that after the darkness, the light will always return. To stand at the foot of Christ, the Redeemer, is a truly humbling experience. You feel small, not in an insignificant way, but as part of something vast and beautiful. Looking down, the entire city of Rio unfolds before you like a living map. You see the famous arc of Copacabana Beach, the dramatic peak of Sugarloaf Mountain, the sprawling Tijuca Forest, and the intricate web of streets, cars, and people, all flowing together in a breathtaking panorama. From this vantage point, you feel a connection to the rhythm of the city, the mountains, and the sea. It's as if you can feel the entire landscape breathing around you, a slow, steady, timeless pulse. Here, high above the noise and the rush, you understand why Christ the Redeemer is more than just stone and concrete. It is a feeling. It's the feeling of being watched over, of being welcomed, of being part of a story much larger than yourself. It's the heart of Rio, open for all the world to see. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest things we can build are not just structures, but symbols that lift our gaze, inspire our hearts, and remind us of our shared capacity for faith, hope, and wonder. A silent guardian, a timeless embrace. Have you ever stood somewhere and felt completely humbled, yet utterly inspired at the same time? That's the feeling that washes over you at the base of Christ, the Redeemer. As you stand on Corcovado mountain, gazing up at this colossal statue, you feel a profound sense of awe. But then, you turn around, and the true magic unfolds. You're not just looking at a statue, you're witnessing the soul of a city. Below you, Rio de Janeiro breathes. It's a breathtaking tapestry woven from jagged mountains, golden beaches, dense green forests, and the vibrant pulse of urban life, all flowing together in perfect, impossible harmony. From this vantage point, the waves of Guanabara Bay don't just crash, they sparkle like a carpet of scattered diamonds under the Brazilian sun. The city's streets snake through the landscape like rivers, each one a tributary, leading to bustling neighborhoods and vibrant markets. You can almost hear the distant echoes of samba, smell the rich aroma of street food, and see the explosion of color that defines life in Rio. It's here, suspended between the sky and the city, that you feel an undeniable connection to something much larger than yourself. It feels as though the mountains, the sprawling city, and the statue itself are all breathing in unison, a slow, rhythmic, and timeless embrace. For nearly a century, Christ the Redeemer has stood as a silent, steadfast guardian, watching over Rio and its people. Its arms, stretched wide, are not just an architectural marvel, they are a universal symbol. They open to the sky, to the city, and to all of humanity, reminding us of the enduring power of compassion, faith, and hope. It has weathered countless storms and basked in endless sunlight, its purpose unwavering, to inspire. Its serene gaze is an open invitation. It beckons you to slow down, to disconnect from the noise and just be. It encourages you to reflect, to take a deep breath, and to remember that even in the heart of our busiest, most chaotic cities, there is always room for calm. There is always a place for serenity, for peace, and for that quiet, divine presence that connects us all. And as the sun begins its descent, dipping behind the dramatic silhouette of the mountains, the sky erupts into a masterpiece of color. Fiery oranges, soft pinks, and brilliant golds paint the heavens, and through it all, the statue remains. It becomes a dark, powerful figure against the vibrant backdrop eternal, welcoming and filled with a gentle, profound grace. It's more than just stone and concrete. It's a story, a poem, a promise forever embracing the heart of Rio. But the story doesn't end with the statue or the city. To truly understand Corcovado, you have to immerse yourself in the world that surrounds it. Cradling the Redeemer is the magnificent Tijuca Forest, one of the world's largest urban rainforests. This isn't just a park. It's a living, breathing jungle that climbs the mountainside with a symphony of its own. Listen closely. You can hear the whisper of the wind as it rustles through giant leaves and the distant, melodic calls of exotic birds echoing through the trees. The forest itself is a wonder, a thriving ecosystem teeming with life. It's home to mischievous capuchin monkeys leaping from branch to branch, vibrant toucans with their impossibly bright beaks, and countless other species that flourish in this tropical paradise. The deep, lush green of the forest canopy creates a stunning contrast with the pale, weathered stone of the statue above. It's as if nature and humanity are locked in a quiet, respectful conversation. As the morning sun filters through the dense foliage, it casts dappled, dancing shadows across the winding mountain paths. Walking here, you can almost feel the steady, calm, eternal heartbeat of the earth itself, a rhythm that perfectly echoes the profound serenity of the figure watching from above. The air here is different. It's thick with the scent of damp earth, sweet blossoms, and pure, clean oxygen. Every breath feels restorative. The Tijuca Forest isn't just the setting for Christ the Redeemer. It's an integral part of its spirit. It reminds us that even monumental human achievements are ultimately cradled by the power and beauty of the natural world. This green sanctuary offers a different kind of peace, wild, untamed, and deeply grounding. So, when you imagine visiting this icon, don't just picture the statue. Picture the entire journey. The ascent through a vibrant jungle, the gradual reveal of the sprawling city below, and the final, breathtaking moment when you stand before this symbol of peace, with the whole of Rio at your feet. It's a pilgrimage of the senses, a journey that connects the wild heart of nature with the vibrant soul of the city and the serene spirit of the sky. This experience leaves an indelible mark on you. It's a powerful reminder of harmony, resilience, and the beauty that exists when humanity and nature don't just coexist, but embrace one another. Welcome, fellow travelers, to a journey high above the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro. We're heading to the peak of Corcovado Mountain, where one of the world's most iconic monuments stands watch. Christ the Redeemer. But this story isn't just about the statue. It's about the living, breathing world that cradles it. A world of dense forest, devoted pilgrims, and a city that dances to the rhythm of life. Our adventure begins not at the summit, but within the deep green heart of the Tijuca Forest. This isn't just any park. It's one of the largest urban rainforests on the planet, a testament to nature's resilience. Imagine being surrounded by a symphony of sounds, a gentle whisper of wind rustling through towering leaves, melodic calls of exotic birds hidden in the canopy, and maybe, if you're lucky, the playful chatter of capuchin monkeys swinging from branch to branch. This lush jungle climbs the steep slopes of Corcovado. Its vibrant green, a stunning contrast against the pale stone of the Redeemer above. It's as if nature and human creation are locked in a timeless, silent conversation. As the morning sun pierces through the thick canopy, it paints the forest floor with shifting patterns of light and shadow. Walking these mountain paths, you can almost feel the steady, ancient heartbeat of the earth beneath your feet. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. The forest is home to an incredible diversity of life-dazzling toucans with their rainbow beaks, elusive sloths moving in slow motion, and countless species of insects and butterflies that add to this tropical paradise's magic. It's a world away from the bustling city below, a sanctuary of peace, a natural wonder that prepares your soul for the serenity you will find at the peak. The Tijuca Forest we see today is a remarkable story of conservation. In the 19th century, this area was almost completely cleared for coffee plantations. The deforestation led to water shortages and erosion, threatening Rio itself. In a pioneering effort, Emperor Pedro II ordered the reforestation of the entire area. Over a decade, more than 100,000 trees were planted by hand, bringing this jungle back to life. So, as we ascend, remember that every tree, every vine, is part of a legacy promise kept to nature. This forest isn't just beautiful. It's a symbol of hope and humanity's ability to heal the world it inhabits. And now, we're nearing the summit. Whether you've taken the historic cog train, hiked the winding trails, or driven up the scenic road, the sense of anticipation grows with every foot of elevation gained. The trees begin to thin, and the sky opens up. Then, you see it, standing at over 2,300 feet. Christ the Redeemer emerges, its arms outstretched in a gesture of universal welcome. The sheer scale is breathtaking. From a distance, it appears serene and almost delicate, but up close, its 30-meter height and immense weight are crafted from reinforced concrete and covered in a mosaic of thousands of soapstone tiles. It is a masterpiece of Art Deco design and engineering. Each year, millions of people make this journey to Corcovado Mountain. They come from every corner of the globe, speaking different languages and holding different beliefs. You see pilgrims with hopeful eyes, travelers with cameras ready, and curious minds simply wanting to experience this modern wonder of the world. Each person brings their own story, their own reason for being here. Some come seeking peace in a chaotic world. Others are looking for a moment of profound inspiration. Many find themselves standing silently beneath the statue's calm gaze, whispering a quiet prayer or simply letting the silence of the mountain wash over them. In this shared space, something beautiful happens. Differences seem to fade away. Language becomes secondary to the universal feeling of awe. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you believe. Here, humanity unites in a moment of shared wonder. It's a quiet realization that some creations manage to transcend time, culture, and our individual lives. They belong to everyone. Looking out from the viewing platform, the panoramic view is simply staggering. You see the entirety of Rio de Janeiro laid out like a map. The iconic Sugarloaf Mountain, the famous beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema, the vast Guanabara Bay, and the sprawling city nestled between mountains and sea. From this vantage point, you truly understand Rio's nickname, the Marvelous City. The landscape is a dramatic tapestry of granite peaks, blue water, and urban energy. You can watch planes landing at the airport, boats gliding across the bay, and the endless pulse of life in the streets below. It's a perspective that changes how you see the city. You appreciate its unique geography and the incredible spirit of a place that thrives in such a spectacular setting. As the day progresses, the light changes, and so does the view. A sunny afternoon offers crystal clear vistas, while a cloudy day can make you feel like you're floating in the heavens, with the statue rising above a sea of clouds. And the Redeemer is not just a daytime spectacle. As dusk falls, the statue is illuminated, becoming a beacon of light visible from almost every part of the city. It transforms from a stone figure into a celestial guardian, watching over Rio through the night. This constant presence has woven the statue into the very fabric of the city's identity. For the people of Rio, the Cariocas, Christ the Redeemer is more than just a tourist attraction. It's a symbol of home, a comforting landmark that says, you are here, you are safe. It's a part of their daily skyline, a constant in an ever-changing world. Rio de Janeiro is a city alive with music, color, and celebration, and through it all from the world-famous dazzling parades of carnival to the quieter, more solemn religious processions. The Redeemer stands above, a gentle and patient observer. On special occasions, when the setting sun reflects off its stone surface in brilliant golden streams, the entire city below seems to dance in harmony with its benevolent gaze. The sounds of samba, the bursts of fireworks, and the collective laughter of a city celebrating life rise up the mountain like offerings, a modern, vibrant ritual in honor of this timeless figure. As our time on Corcovado comes to an end and we begin our descent, the experience stays with you. It's more than just a memory of a beautiful view or an impressive statue. It's the feeling of connection to nature, to history, to the millions of others who have stood in this exact spot, and to the vibrant city that lies at its feet. The image of those open arms becomes etched in your mind, a powerful symbol of peace, acceptance, and the enduring power of faith and art to bring us all together. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to stand at the edge of the world, embraced by a symbol of peace that touches the sky? Today, we're not just visiting a landmark, we're embarking on a journey to the heart of Rio de Janeiro, to the summit of Corcovado Mountain, to meet the silent guardian of this vibrant city, Christ the Redeemer. For nearly a century, this colossal figure has watched over Rio, its arms outstretched in a gesture of eternal welcome. But this isn't just a story about a statue. It's a story of faith, resilience, and the quiet, unending work that keeps this beacon of hope shining for the world. So, grab your virtual passport, because we're about to explore the soul of one of the new 7 wonders of the world. The journey to the top is an adventure in itself. As the cogwheel train wends its way up through the lush Tijuca National Forest, the sounds of the city fade away, replaced by the symphony of the jungle. With every turn, the view becomes more breathtaking, a mosaic of blue ocean, white sands, and green mountains. It's a moment of transition, leaving the hustle and bustle below to ascend towards a place of serenity and awe. And then, you arrive. Standing at 710 meters above sea level, you step out, and there it is. The sheer scale is almost impossible to comprehend. At 30 meters tall, with an arm span of 28 meters, Christ the Redeemer is an architectural marvel. The Art Deco design, with its clean lines and simple form, is both powerful and graceful. You can't help but feel small in its presence, a feeling that's both humbling and incredibly grounding. But look closer. Notice the surface of the statue. It's not smooth stone, but a mosaic of thousands of small, triangular soapstone tiles. This was a stroke of genius by the engineers. Soapstone is known for its durability and resistance to extreme weather, a crucial feature for a monument exposed to the harsh tropical elements. It is said that women who helped assemble the mosaic tiles often wrote messages or the names of their family members on the back, embedding their prayers and hopes directly into the fabric of the statue. So, as you gaze up, you're not just looking at stone. You're looking at a tapestry of countless personal stories and blessings. The story of its creation is as monumental as the statue itself. In the 1920s, as a wave of secularism swept through Brazil, the Catholic Circle of Rio proposed the idea of a grand Christian monument on Corcovado mountain, visible from anywhere in the city. It was a statement of faith, a project funded not by the government, but by the donations of Brazilian Catholics. It was truly a monument built by the people, for the people. French sculptor Paul Landowski designed the figure, but the engineering was a Brazilian feat, led by Haita da Silva Costa. They faced immense challenges. How do you build such a massive structure on a narrow mountain peak, battling strong winds and unpredictable weather? They chose reinforced concrete, a relatively new material at the time. For the core structure, every piece of material, every bag of cement, had to be hauled up the mountain on that same cogwheel railway we rode earlier. It was a 9-year labor of love and determination, culminating in its inauguration in 1931. But the story doesn't end there. Time, as it does, takes its toll. The statue stands against the full force of nature. Acid rain gently wears at the stone. The fierce tropical sun beats down, and lightning, a surprisingly frequent visitor, strikes the monument several times a year. In 2014, a massive storm damaged one of the statue's fingertips. This is where the unsung heroes of our story come in. The generations of caretakers, engineers, and restoration artists. Their work is quiet, often performed at night or in the early morning hours, unseen by the millions of tourists. They are the guardians of the guardian. With meticulous care, they repair cracks, replace damaged soapstone tiles, and clean the surfaces, ensuring that this symbol of hope will endure for centuries more. Each restored stone is a silent promise to the future, a commitment that this beacon will not fade. As day turns to night in Rio, a different kind of magic unfolds. The bustling city below transforms into a glittering carpet of lights, a galaxy on Earth. And high above it all, the Redeemer is illuminated, a celestial figure floating in the darkness. Seeing it from the city is breathtaking, a constant, reassuring presence in the night sky. But being up there, Montesumit is an experience that transcends words. The world feels hushed, the universe vast. It's a meditative moment, a chance to connect not just with the city, but with the profound stillness of the night and the stars above. It is no surprise that a place this powerful is woven into the local culture with countless legends and myths. Some say that on a truly clear night, the statue's gaze reaches far out into the Atlantic, guiding ships safely to shore. Others believe that making a wish at the summit during your first visit will ensure it comes true. Whether you believe in them or not, these stories add another layer of mystique to an already enchanting place. In 2007, Christ the Redeemer was officially named one of the new 7 wonders of the world, cementing its status as a global icon. It's appeared in countless films, photographs, and artworks, becoming a universal shorthand for Rio, for Brazil, and for a certain kind of breathtaking beauty. It's a pilgrimage site for the faithful, a bucket list destination for travelers, and a source of immense pride for Brazilians. But beyond the accolades and the tourist photos, what does it truly feel like to stand beneath those outstretched arms? It's a deeply personal experience. For some, it's a profound spiritual connection, a moment of prayer and devotion. For others, it's a spark of inspiration, a reminder of human potential and artistry. And for many, regardless of belief, it's a moment of pure, unadulterated peace. The statue's gesture is one of universal welcome. It doesn't ask who you are or where you come from. It simply invites you to pause, to breathe, and to connect. In a world that often feels divided and moves at a dizzying pace, the Redeemer offers a precious moment of calm. It reminds us of values larger than ourselves: compassion, unity, and serenity. As the cities of the world grow and change, as time marches relentlessly forward, this majestic figure remains a quiet witness. It has seen Rio evolve, celebrating its joys and weathering its storms. It stands as a gentle guide, a silent teacher, offering solace to anyone who looks up and seeks a moment of peace in the world's embrace. It is more than stone and concrete. It is a feeling, a promise, A symbol that, no matter how chaotic life gets, there is always a place of refuge, a symbol of hope watching over us all. Today, we journey to the vibrant heart of Rio de Janeiro, to the summit of Corcovado mountain, to uncover the epic tale of a statue that touches the sky. Christ, the Redeemer. We all know this iconic image, arms outstretched, watching over the city. But have you ever wondered how this colossal figure came to be? How did human hands build a monument of this scale on top of a 710-meter-high peak? It's a story of audacious vision, brilliant engineering, and sheer human determination. The story begins in the early 1920s. Brazil was approaching the centenary of its independence, and there was a powerful desire to create a symbol that would represent the nation as faith and warmth. The idea of a massive statue of Christ was born, but turning that idea into reality was a task of monumental proportions. This wasn't a job for one person, or even one country. It required a unique collaboration between the finest minds in Brazil and France. The lead engineer was a Brazilian, Heitor da Silva Costa. He was the one who had to solve the puzzle of how to build a 30-meter-tall statue. With an arm span of 28 meters that could withstand the powerful winds and weather on a mountain summit, it was an engineering nightmare. Meanwhile, the artistic soul of the project came from France, from a sculptor named Paul Landowski. Landowski's vision was crucial. He didn't want to create a distant, judgmental figure. Instead, he imagined Christ as an embodiment of peace and welcome. He sculpted a face with a calm, reassuring expression and designed the iconic open arms, not just as a religious symbol, but as a universal gesture of embrace. This statue wasn't just for Rio. It was for the entire world. Together, da Silva Costa and Landowski sketched, debated, and refined the design. They needed a material that was strong enough to form the core structure, but also beautiful enough for the exterior. They found their answer in a brilliant combination. For the skeleton, they chose reinforced concrete, a modern material for a modern marvel. But for the skin, they needed something more delicate, something that would interact with the light. They selected soapstone, thousands upon thousands of small, triangular soapstone tiles. This choice was genius. Soapstone is known for its durability and resistance to extreme weather, but it also has a soft, almost luminous quality. When the Brazilian sun hits the statue, it doesn't create a harsh glare. Instead, the light is absorbed and soft, giving the figure an ethereal, gentle glow. It was the perfect marriage of industrial strength and artistic sensitivity. With a design finalized and materials chosen, the real work began in 1922. And this is where the story becomes truly heroic. Remember, there were no modern highways leading to the top of Corcovado. Every single bag of cement, every steel rod, and every piece of equipment had to be transported up the mountain on a small cogwheel railway that was originally built just for tourists. Imagine the scene: workers toiling under the hot sun, piece by piece, hauling materials up the steep incline. They built massive wooden scaffolding that clung to the mountainside, allowing them to work at dizzying heights. From the city below, the people of Rio watched in awe as this structure slowly, day by day, began to climb towards the clouds. The construction site was a hive of activity. Engineers and laborers worked side by side. The massive head and hands were actually constructed and refined in France, then shipped to Brazil in pieces to be assembled on site. The body was built level by level, a concrete giant rising from the granite peak. But the most delicate work came last. The application of the soapstone tiles was a meticulous, almost meditative process. Female volunteers from the local community often helped, patiently gluing the thousands of tiles onto strips of linen cloth, which were then applied by workers to the concrete surface. Many of them even wrote messages, prayers, or the names of their loved ones on the back of the tiles. So, hidden beneath that serene exterior is a mosaic of personal stories, a collection of hopes and dreams from the people who helped bring the statue to life. For 9 long years, the work continued. Through torrential rain, thick fog, and relentless winds, the team persevered. They weren't just building a statue, they were fulfilling a promise. It was a testament to their shared faith and unwavering spirit. Block by block, the figure grew, its arms reaching further and further, as if straining to embrace the stunning landscape of Guanabara Bay. Finally, on October 12, 1931, the day arrived. The scaffolding was gone. The statue was complete. A massive crowd gathered in Rio, their eyes fixed on the summit of Corcovado. As Christ the Redeemer was officially unveiled, a wave of emotion swept through the city. It was a collective gasp of wonder and pride. There it stood, serene and magnificent, a guardian in the sky. In that moment, it became more than just a statue. It became the soul of Rio, a symbol of peace, a beacon of hope, and a welcome to all who arrive in this incredible city. It's a reminder that with vision, collaboration, and a whole lot of courage, humanity can create things that truly touch the heavens. So, the next time you see a picture of Christ the Redeemer, look a little closer. See the engineering genius, the artistic passion, and the 9 years of hard work etched into its form. See the thousands of hidden messages and the spirit of a nation built into its very foundation. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more explorations into the world's greatest wonders. We'd love to have you with us. Until next time, stay curious.